Well, hold on tight, darling, and we'll be right back with our usual woke programming.
And remember, always eat your cereal for dinner.
We now continue with
Journey. I think it might be a good idea to ban advertising for 5 years, and then we.
Perhaps a few deep breaths. On the out breath, letting go of any tension.
It's 3 a.m. right now.
On the in breath, drawing
I
in
just lit a
that
cigarette.
which
I can't stop
is
thinking
light,
about you.
that which
I've been feeling a lot, but mostly my cheeks hurt from smiling so much, and I try to smile harder and laugh longer because I would have wanted you to. It seems like happiness doesn't really ever end. I just wish you were still here to see it. And all the new people I meet remind me of you.
Bro, do you know how much can come up in a day?
he throws his
This
cigarette
is
in
all
the
about
water,
healing the inner child.
and the river
Realizing
explodes.
that I am very sensitive, even though that I come off
True story.
stubborn and strong.
The topic we're talking about tonight is one that I find perhaps the most difficult. Because it's hard to know what to say or what to think or what to feel or what to do. Tonight we're talking about ecology and the environment and the imperative that the situation places upon us and what we're doing about it. Remember the feeling of the pristine quality of nature. I swam in the lake. I drank from streams. There were thousands of birds in the trees. And by the time I left that place in New Hampshire, some 30 years, 35 years later, most of the birds weren't around anymore. You could swim in the lake, but there was garbage in it. He told me, the purpose of society is to produce and consume. All human activities are subservient to this core idea, continuity of this momentum.
I'm here in the audience to be on a journey. And as I listened to the images on the screen, I most identified with that fish
to 157 days of
herself
eating.
in a pool of mud on the beach, and therefore needing to undergo some kind of change to get to the other pool that was quite some distance away. I have come to this struggle as a person of color. I don't have the privilege of being an indigenous person, because many of my ancestors were brought from the continent of Africa not by choice. A source of potential enlightenment, and I don't know whether the catastrophe that you described is really the catastrophe of one fish finding itself in a puddle, and so we each to make this discovery one by one in the middle of the night, or whether it's a big bang and the whole thing goes up. But as a person of color, whose ancestors were
love again, you'll be a better version of yourself. You're asking me to be afraid. You might be, but you'll be less afraid. You won't even be the person you are now when it comes around. It won't. You won't. You'll be ready for whatever's coming for you. Okay? And so
we actually have some responsibility here. So I think what we have to all do is we have to try on different hats. And I think that some of us, as African Americans, need to try on some visionary hats and see if we can maybe come up with some images. And many people are ready. Maybe we can come up with some images. And we need to do this, I think, with the humility, because we know that that we may be wrong. when we talk about forest is a community of plants and animals, of which maybe some people say the dominant species are trees. One could argue that the city is a place where the dominant species is human beings, a place where we are together. And it seems to me that we have, if we care about the rainforest, if we really want to do something about those regions in which human beings are maybe not so present, that we should go about healing those places where we are present. And as I look and stop eating up the farmland around Oakland, we can stop building. The indigenous people in this country are already doing this. And the same, in many ways, can be said for poor people. If you live in the suburbs, you consume 200 gallons of water every day. If you're homeless, maybe 5 gallons or 2 gallons. So we have something that we could learn from those people who are poor. If we really learn to treat people who are struggling with minimal resources with dignity, we might be able to find a path toward living on less resources themselves.
Where are we? I mean,
we really do need to do exactly what you've been teaching, which is to find the harmony within ourselves and our being. Because if we operate from a place of lack of personal balance, then there's no way that we can possibly bring harmony into our surroundings. And each one of those little steps is a step, perhaps, toward a different kind of consciousness. Each of us knows where we are. I think it might be a good idea to ban advertising for 5 years, and then we.
You know, it's interesting how the problem lies with the people who seemingly won in the society, and the answer lies with people who seemingly lost in the society, or at least part of the answer.
Lost in abstraction. Come across a tree. It's a beautiful tree, and you love the way it looks. Love the way the green leaves tessellate the sky into blue and white parts. Love the round birds beeping in the canopy. Love the feeling of the bark on your palm. And what a perfect day to sit beneath it. But first, having decided the tree too precious to be a random fluke, you look within it for an answer. Religion, biology, philosophy, geometry, you pass the tree through the lens of them all. Eventually all lines of questioning are exhausted, and none have revealed what you'd hoped, or made the beautiful tree any more beautiful. It's just a tree, for sitting under. Now you can rest. But you were so distracted by your questions, you didn't notice the birds going quiet, the sky going dark. It's too late to rest here now. You have to go.